am a conscientious person. I want to do the right thing if I can, but because of that, I don't jump into conflict or heated discussion quickly. I observe for a bit. At school, this is definitely true. While I love learning and my teachers, I struggle with the social scene, priorities, and competition of the school I go to. So school is the place where I feel the least comfortable revealing my full self. But one day, a few weeks ago, I felt the need to come to voice. I was in my advisory class, which is a small group that meets every day for a short time with our advisors and sticks together for the 4 years of high school. It's where we get school announcements and talk through our classes and how we're doing. The topic of testing came up in our conversation. One student expressed his annoyance that some students get extra time when we're taking tests. He went on and on about how extra time gets thrown out willy-nilly, no big deal. He thought that all you had to do was say, "I'm anxious," and you get extra time on your tests. He was all upset because he thought it was unfair and misused. Others agreed and jumped in to say so. The conversation kept going, and more students agreed how stupid it was that some kids got extra help and get it easier than others. I sat there listening, getting more and more upset. I knew this to be false. I think it's important to note that I am the only one in that group who has a learning difference and have an individualized education plan to support me. One kid said, "In the real world, there's no such thing as extra time. Your boss and your client isn't going to wait for you to get something done." That put me over the edge. I had to speak. I finally got called on. I explained. I really feel disturbed by how this conversation is going. As someone who has learning disabilities, math fluency disorder, dyslexia, and generalized anxiety disorder that is especially triggered by testing, I know this firsthand. I explained how at a young age I knew I was different from other kids. I learned differently. I struggled and my parents tried to get me help. Even when teachers suspected I was dyslexic, because I was making good grades and polite, I was overlooked time and time again. Administrators denied us interventions. That meant for years, I had to teach myself how to accommodate. I developed strategies and tricks. I was working twice as hard as every other student while earning all A's. So, when last year at 14 years old, I was properly diagnosed and seen, I was given official accommodations, including extra time and a separate space on exams. I cannot explain how life-changing those accommodations have been. I told my advisory, "It's absolutely not true that someone with dyslexia can't work to a deadline or won't be able to get a task done in the real world. Folks like me do it every day, but we do it differently, not unfairly and not worse than normative learners, just differently." The other thing is it's absolutely not easy to get help, to be diagnosed, and to receive accommodations. To get tested, it took me 3 months. I had to leave school each week to go to a firm for hours at a time, do tests and experiments. All the while, I was missing classes and had to make it up. It was very hard, and the process isn't over even when you get it all done. Even now, I explained, with my official diagnosis, I have people like you as peers who deny my reality. I have teachers who try to deny my accommodations. It is never easy. And if anything is unfair, it's not that students have extra time on tests. It's the fact that students with disabilities have to fight every day to be recognized and believed by this community. When I finished speaking and looked around the classroom, I felt proud of myself. I spoke my truth. I could see on their faces embarrassment and shame for the awful things they had said. They had not realized who I was or what I dealt with each and every day. So when we all left that advisory with a little more understanding of each other. It's not always easy to speak up, but that day I'm glad I did.